Welcome to the Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Reminder, we're streaming live on Sportsnet's YouTube channel and airing live on Sportsnet 360 Monday to Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. Make sure you find the Raptors Show wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, and please rate and review our show. I'm your host, William Liu. I'm joined by producer and co-host Alex Wong. How you feeling, man? 43-point win. You called it. You literally called it.
Yeah, so just want to get ahead of this because I know a lot of people, 2 to 3 people messaged me about this.
That's a lot.
And, yesterday towards the end of the show, I guess I did say the Raptors were going to win 140 to 99, I believe. And the final score was 143 to 100, right?
Yeah.
So just to be clear, I say that for every game.
Okay.
You've been here. You've heard me, remember last year when they had the home opener against the Wizards? And I famously said they were going to win by 40.
Yes.
And then you got mad at me at the game.
Well, they lost by 30.
Because the Raptors played terrible. And somehow when the Raptors play terrible, Will just likes to blame it on people that are around him in the radio booth. As JR Manitak can attest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problematic.
It's a toxic environment in there. Yeah. When they're losing.
But
no, I'm not taking any credit for it, is all I'm saying. But I was really into astrology growing up.
What a drop.
Shouts to Derek Brandeo. But yeah, no, Raptors won by 43.
Yep.
Yesterday, I think the storyline I want to run with is ever since you gave Doc Rivers the 3rd star on the React pod last week, the Raptors have responded with the best 2-game stretch in franchise history, in my opinion.
It's
not a doctor.
It's pretty impressive. First off, it's a whole new game, man. What did we say yesterday? Take the over, take the Raptors.
That's right.
That was easy money right there. There. No,
gamble responsibly.
Gamble responsibly.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
You know that chicken dinner is coming from Swiss Chalet.
Oh, yeah. No, you being a Swiss Chalet stan is something we need to get a sponsorship for, because I feel like you'd be actually thrilled.
Yeah, we were at a food event yesterday, and I shouted out Swiss Chalet, and I've never had so many food industry people just give me the look.
Yeah, also just people with taste.
I just wish you could have tried it first. My stomach's really going off. Fireworks.
Oh man,
Derek's
going crazy.
Working overtime today.
You know how Pascal had the triple double in 3 quarters, man. Derek's going for the triple double in the first 5 minutes.
That's Brandeo every day, man. Goodness. Setting the tone. Happy post hump day. 1 day away from TGIF. I want you to go around the office, everyone, tomorrow. Tell everyone TGIF. Courtesy of the Raptors Show. But yes,
I will let Kipper know.
Yeah, so 143 to 100, 41 points in transition for the Raptors.
That feels low.
It definitely feels low because that was we joke that was a Rico Hines run yesterday against an NBA team.
Yeah. That's the Rico Hines run when they have to play on the loser's court just to get back into the middle court.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the rules of Rico Hines, okay?
You're not familiar with the geography.
I was doing other things in August.
What were you doing? Banter pod?
Yeah, Banter pod with William Liu. Coming back tomorrow.
That's right.
Email me, info@StephenLeBron.com if you have any comments. Raptors have scored 84 fast break points in the last 2 games per Law Murray of The Athletic. They're the only team this season with 40-plus in a game, which they've done twice, obviously.
Back-to-back games.
And the only time a team had 40-plus fast break points in a game all of last season was the Memphis Grizzlies in a game against the Pelicans. And it's interesting that it's the Grizzlies because I was watching the game yesterday from start to finish.
Yes.
And, the full 48 minutes, Raptors jumped out to a 9-0 run. That was really impressive.
Yeah, who did that, though?
And then it was a little bit of a back and forth. We're not here to provide the play-by-play. We're here to provide the analysis.
No, don't worry. Alex thought the game was at 8:30.
And
hey, he didn't miss much, man.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this Raptors team and seeing how quickly they were going up and down. They obviously overwhelmed the Spurs with their size, their athleticism, their speed, all of that.
Yep.
I think best case scenario for the Raptors this year is they are this year's version of the Memphis Grizzlies from last season.
That's interesting.
Just like a young, athletic team on the come up. Yeah. And I feel like when I watched the Grizzlies last season, that's what they would do to opponents, just overwhelm them.
Yeah, I mean...
Lesser opponents.
The Raptors had similar profile to the Grizzlies last year as well. I think that what the Grizzlies had was more depth than the Raptors last season. That wasn't even debatable. But a lot of crashing offensive glass, a lot of playing really fast, a lot of being in transition. I think the difference this year for the Raptors is they have more depth. I was actually thinking about it yesterday, just watching the game, and it was one of those nights where everybody got to play. Thad Young got to play. Malachi got to play. Delano got to swish some threes.
Yeah, don't doubt him.
Yeah,
Jr. Yeah,
he played. Juancho even played. Every single player on the Raptors played last night. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, how do you even find minutes for some of these guys? Because, with Otto Porter returning, and we'll get to that in a second, but it's just like where do you find the minutes for everybody? You know, for Nick, it was like first half, he's okay. Fred's already out. That's already like 35, 38 minutes of your rotation.
43.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 43 minutes. So you already have an extra like huge chunk of minutes to play with, and still you're struggling to find minutes with everybody. I think that's where the depth of the team's going to come into play, and I think second unit helped to really break that game wide open. Shout out to Chris Boucher. A super energetic second quarter there, where he like had a putback, 2 threes, you know, 2 transition Euro step layups, a block,
flying out there, looking like
7
Victor
rebounds.
Wembanyama, man.
I
No,
mean,
that's how tall and lengthy like the whole Raptors team was looking to me. No, shouts to Chris though. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals.
Yep.
3 threes.
Yep.
He's your new best friend, man. You gotta bring the actual stats. You're just gonna come on the show and be like, he played well. Yeah, come on.
okay,
man.
fine. The
Disappointed
propaganda
in
doesn't
you.
even need to like. It just makes itself though, because
Yeah,
he's
it's-
just
it's-
playing.
The Raptors
really
are
well.
propagandizing themselves right now.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
So no, I mean that's a good problem though. Speaking of the depth, like you seem
Yeah, I agree.
concerned about it. I don't think it's it's a good problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think there'll be other games where you're more concerned about it. You do wish they had one more shot creator, especially now that Christian Coloco's come in and really made an impact. I thought it was real interesting that after the game, OG Anunoby was interviewed. And look, listen, we're not usually going to pass along too many OG quotes because, obviously he doesn't like to give them. But just apropos of nothing, because the conversation was about defense, he kind of just decided to say, he's like, look, part of the reason why we're much better this year is we have Christian Coloco back there. And
That's high praise from the best defender in the league.
he also called himself that. Well, we'll get to that in a second too. But it's just like, I think Coloco, even though his overall numbers didn't look that great, 23 minutes, had 2.6 rebounds, pretty standard kind of thing. I was looking at the hustle stats, which you can find on the NBA stats page. I don't know why I'm promoting the NBA stats page, but fine. Christian Coloco contested 14 shots last night in 23 minutes. The next closest player in terms of who had the most shot contests on the Raptors was Chris Boucher at 4. He had 10 more shot contests than the next closest teammate.
Yeah, it passes the Alex eye test.
Yeah, he's literally at the
No.
basket all the time.
And this is like a missing element for this team, right?
Yeah,
And they have that now. And listen, like I'm sure if you dive into the numbers, you can probably nitpick Christian Coloco's game so far, like this season. But like I've said, man, he's like the Tamagotchi on this team. Like they're slowly just like working him in, they're developing him, growing him.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be a fully formed Tamagotchi by the end of this season.
Is Tamagotchi the one where you just like shook it?
No, you have to feed it and stuff. Like it was like a electronic. It's like the OG like Apple Watch type.
But it's like 3 buttons.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
3 buttons. They're available on eBay if you want to buy
Honestly,
me one for Christmas.
I gotta say, the video game economy for your generation is very sad to me. I don't know, man. The Tamagotchi for me is like a Pokemon game, I guess.
No, that's fair.
It's much more dynamic.
No, I miss those days, man. But yeah, no,
Okay.
I think that's a good call out about Coloco.
Mhm.
And I mean, when you win by 43, I mean, I know we're just bouncing around right now, but there's just so many positives and good things to highlight
Yeah.
about this team. Pascal Siakam, I think it's becoming the norm now. Another triple double,
Yep.
second of the season.
Easy.
22 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds in 28 minutes. I mean, he was just finding guys like leaking out in transition, like easy passes, like everything
Yep.
was within the flow of the game. I know he picked up 3 fouls in the first half, but that didn't slow
by
him
the way,
down.
one of those was terrible. Remember, because OG got fouled got hacked on a dunk attempt by Zach Collins,
Yeah.
and they just called Pascal for a push, even though he wasn't. Yeah, anyway, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
No, I just love watching Pascal every game now because, he's like problem solving as a player, right?
Yeah.
Like we've seen him in games against Miami when he had that terrible shooting game. And then you see the fourth quarter that he came up with in that comeback win.
Yep.
We've seen games where he's gotten into foul trouble and he's had to figure that out early, and nothing's phasing him. And he's
Yeah.
just working through, and there's just such a confidence and belief in his game right now. And everything is just coming together. Like it's honestly amazing to watch. And, per Michael Grange of Sportsnet,
Yep.
friend of the program,
Yep.
he looked up. So right now Pascal's averaging 25, 9, and 7 with an effective field goal percentage of over 50.
Yep.
For reference, Matt Thomas once had an effective field goal percentage of 99 from 3. Yeah, just for
Okay.
the historians
Yeah,
out
I
there.
mean, he was doing that against
So-
Latvian plumber, but okay.
Oh, come on, man.
I don't know. Latvians need plumbing.
He's going up against the guy that Wancho was going up against in Hustle
Worse, actually.
in Tim's. Was Matt Thomas wearing Tim's? So he pulled up players all time that average those numbers in a season.
Yeah.
And listen, like I guess like every time we talk, we have to say it's early. right? It's 8 games for Pascal.
Yeah.
But historically, players who have averaged those numbers, 25, 9, and 7, 50 plus effective field goal percentage, Oscar Robertson.
Oh, okay.
Who give me one favorite Oscar Robertson fact.
He averaged a triple double and was the first guy to do that for a long time before Westbrook.
Okay.
Won a title with Kareem.
All right. Nick. Okay.
Brought in free agency for players.
Okay.
That's actually pretty cool.
All right, let's just stick to the present.
Okay.
Nikola Jokic has done it twice.
Yeah, makes sense.
Luka Doncic,
Makes sense.
including last season, and Larry Bird. Those are the only players.
Okay.
It's an impressive list.
It's an impressive list. But I mean, I think even too, it's just like I don't even necessarily need the numbers necessarily or like the historical comparisons because it's just like it's impressive just watching just the tape of it, right? Like so, he made 10 field goals last night. Pascal did in 3 quarters. One of those was a transition setup from Scotty, where Scotty found him with a hit-ahead pass. Pascal did a step through against Gorgui Dieng. Gorgui Dieng like ended up in the stands, and then Pascal went in from the end
next to CJ Miles.
Yeah, literally. So the 9 other field goal attempts from Pascal that he made were all self-generated plays. At the start of the game, he had a pull-up 3. Then he had like 3 pull-up jumpers mid-range. You know, like he's been really good at getting to his spots, working it. Then he started getting to the basket more. There's plays where he's got the defender in the middle of the paint, and they're just like terrified of the guy. And he's just like, he's keeping his handles alive. He's sort of like keeping his footwork alive. He sees an opportunity, crossover, drives through his defender, gets to the basket for a layup. He had 3 spin moves, including one of them where he spun, he stopped on a dime, had an up fake. 2 defenders went flying to the baseline, and Pascal just spun over his shoulder and went in for the layup. Like the shot making for him is really impressive, but it's nothing like he's hitting all the shots. Like even last night, he did miss a couple of threes as well. But he's getting to a spot so often, and he's breaking down a defense so often that it doesn't make you feel like, okay, he's just red hot right now. Like if Pascal was starting the season shooting, I don't know, making 5 threes a game and everything he was throwing up there was going in, then you'd be like, okay, this is a little suspicious. We know that's not necessarily his strength. He's just getting to all the right spots all the time. He's scoring easily. He only had 1 free throw attempt in this game. The refs weren't really calling anything because they were trying to keep this game under 2 hours, and it did. So thank you to the officials. Their names are. But, yeah, Pascal's just playing great. And I think that the other thing, too, about worrying about if this is sustainable or not, I have to go back to this. Since, like, March of last year, so those 21 games between the Raptors played in March and April, Pascal averaged 27 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. That's basically season averages right now. So it's not like he's just on a hot stretch. He's playing really well, but this is not anything he hasn't necessarily done in the past in terms of the numbers and the production. But I think the approach in the game is so much more mature. He's breaking down the defense always. I mean, there was a play in the first quarter where the Raptors were like, all right, Pascal, you're going to be the point guard. All right. Delano Banton's going to be your shooting guard. All right. Chris Boucher is your 3. Precious Achiuwa is your 4. And Kem Birch is your 5. That's literally Pascal with no shooters. And Pascal drives into the paint, draws literally all 5 Spurs defenders under the basket into the paint, and then kicks it out to Delano for one of his 3 threes. Like he drew 5 defenders on one play. So all credit to Pascal. He's playing great. He's also setting the tone in transition too. Like I think 6 or 7 of his assists out of his 11 assists were all in transition.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Did you watch this game?
Yeah, of course I did. Man.
Okay,
quiz me.
Yeah. Who had the first basket of the game?
I only know that if I bet on it. So Raptors have a superstar.
Yep.
And they also have the best defender in the league.
Okay.
So, the OGN and OB Defensive Player of the Year campaign sponsored by Emma J. Brown,
Yep.
It's here.
Yeah.
I know we discussed this briefly yesterday with Orn. 5 steals again for OG yesterday.
Yes.
I believe this is the first time in franchise history.
3 steals in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Saw that. I think this is the first time in franchise history players had back-to-back games of 5+ steals. I have to confirm that.
Kawhi play for this franchise?
Yeah, 30 games. About.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, come on, man.
Number of times I came to the studio last season versus number of games Kawhi played at Scotiabank Arena.
You think Kawhi's played more games for the Raptors than he has for the Clippers?
The Clippers? He had that one season when he was healthy. Get well soon, Kawhi.
Get well soon, Kawhi, man.
I love watching Kawhi.
Genuinely.
But yeah, man, OG and OB, said after the game. I think he's been more vocal about this season. And I guess anytime OG speaks a little more, he's more vocal at this point. But this is not the first time I've heard him talk about how much pride he takes on defense.
Mhm.
And, he came out yesterday after the game and said, quote, "I've always thought I was the best defender in the league."
Mm.
And I think it's nice. It's a nice change of pace to see him just speak on it more. Because apparently, for the Raptors, a lot of times, and I know the fans complain a lot, is that sometimes the work just, can't just speak for itself because a lot of the, national media aren't paying attention,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's good for OG to kind of put himself out there and talk about this more.
Yeah. I think it's good because, again, like when you think about the Raptor fan base, like we're ready and like available to be mobilized to push these sort of like campaigns of
bro,
all-star campaigns.
It's been
or
like 3 days after Halloween, and we're already
campaigns.
starting a Defensive Player of the Year watch.
Yeah, but at the same though, it's way easier when the players themselves do it.
Yes, they are their best promoters.
Exactly.
We can only do so much.
And I think an even better way to do it would be on this show.
Well, once again, the bartering system,
Okay,
aka access journalism, has come into play.
Wow.
OG, my advice.
No standards for us. No standards.
Chris, if you're watching right now on your flight to Dallas,
Come on, man. Chris watching.
let OG know that, if he comes on the show or if he does more media,
Okay.
comes on
All
more
right.
shows with a prominent Raptors fan base.
Mm.
And, we have national media that listen to us, I think.
I mean, we at least get them on the show.
Yeah.
Which
Then you
at
can
that point
then
they
it's
listen.
easier to get you into the Defensive Player of the Year conversation.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I think in terms of his play, besides begging him to come on the show,
Not begging yet.
He well, no, not yet. But no, it's really kind of just terrifying the way he's able to just jump the passing lane and just like mob people.
Yeah.
Like literally the first play of the game last night, OG Anunoby jumped the passing lane, ran down the floor, got a breakaway dunk. OG scored, I think, 15 points last night. 10 of those were all in transition. Of his 5 steals and the block, all 6 of those stops directly led to the Raptors scoring in transition. Like, immediately they were able to break out for a dunk or they got fouled at the worst. And they were able to make those free throws too. So I think it's just about honing into his role. I think it's interesting for Pascal to just be like, yo, keep playing defense, man. Because you know what I mean? Because when you go to the pickup run, and everyone's like, yo, you know what your specialty is? Defense. You know what your specialty is, Will? Screening, clapping, calling out assignments. It's like
Those are not strengths, man.
Oh, those are not
Those are
strengths
just
of mine
human
either.
behavior
Well-
on a basketball court. Like, how's clapping a skill, man?
But in any case, I think it's sort of like
You be
it's almost-
clapping people in the head when they start scoring on you.
No,
with
that's not true.
flagrant
Man. That
fouls,
happened
man.
one time, man. Relax. Please invite me back. But with OG, it's just like, yes, there are offensive ambitions that he probably wants to get to.
Yes.
There's probably more there that he can do, right? But at the same time, what he can contribute to the team at the very highest level is to play like this defensively. Like, he's leading the league in steals.
Yeah.
He's averaging more than a block per game. I'm already seeing stats out there that, like, I think Lewis put this one out there, something about MJ. MJ is the last player to average like 2 steals and a block or something as a
Louis
guard.
Zasman?
Yeah, I was like, Lewis, man, come on. We didn't need to do that.
We
We
talking
could just appreciate.
we talking stocks,
No.
steals and blocks.
No, we're actually talking stocks.
We
No,
talking stocks right now.
he's just playing really well, and I think the biggest thing for him is just continuing to hone in on that role. You take pride in it too. And listen, you get
Yes.
paid if you're a defensive player of the year, man.
And I don't think it's
Well, yeah, Rudy Gobert doesn't make the minute. He makes the max.
yeah, and I don't think it's like, demeaning to tell OG that your first focus should be defense. Like,
yeah.
that's your main strength as a player, and that's what's directly leading to winning
Yeah,
for
yeah,
this team, right? And we talk so much about role definition, and I think we're starting to see now, maybe now 8 games in, some of those roles being a little bit more defined in terms of, like, where the pecking order is on offense. Pascal's clearly established that. We've seen Scotty in his point guard role the last couple of games more prominently. We see OG now, maybe settling more into that 3-and-D role, because I know we're very
I mean,
critical of his offensive game.
Well,
This guy
listen,
was putting together like 27-minute clips, of his turnovers.
There were 2 minutes, and by
Oh,
the way,
okay.
he had two turnovers last night, both on drives. The thing is,
Like I said, once a game is in, you got to, the good with the bad.
yeah. But I think for him, it's just like, you want to generate offense, go get the steal.
And that's what he's doing.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the way I want to see him generate offense.
Yeah. Speaking of another guy that's, I don't think we've talked about a lot, Gary Trent Jr.,
Yeah.
just straight getting buckets. 24 points
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
He's averaging an even 20 points on the season. Second leading scorer on the team.
How many assists?
I believe 1.2.
What? 1.2? More than one a game. Wow. Wow.
Good
job, Gary.
I think he's averaging 1.1 rebounds and 1.2 assists, somewhere in
Wait,
that
hold
range.
on. Let me read his stat line.
Yeah.
20 points, 20.0 points, 2.1 rebounds, 1.4 assists.
There we go. Sorry, I was a little. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was 0.2 off. My bad, Gary.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's just been really efficient in his role. The Raptors give him the ball, and they're basically like, just go score, man.
Well,
and they're not expecting him to like make too many plays. Like, he did have like a nice pick and roll pass to Scotty for a dunk.
Sure.
But
that's not
not his role.
That's not his
is
role,
just, like,
right?
literally, you pass him the ball, you have 5 seconds to go shoot.
Yeah, like
does it.
OG's main role, first thing, is to be the defensive anchor on this team, and Gary's main role when he's on the floor is to score.
Yeah,
and I think, I don't know if it gets, understated what his role is on the team, but even watching that first game when they beat Philly in the back-to-back set, like when he scored all those baskets in the third quarter, like there's just stretches during Raptors games where I feel like he's the key to making sure the Raptors don't fall in those offensive droughts.
Yeah.
Like when you need a bucket sometimes, when you're struggling 2-3 minute stretch.
Yeah.
And we know the classic Raptors drought, like he's the guy that can get you that basket.
Yeah. I think too, like one of the underrated things right now with the Raptors only playing one guard in the backcourt, because obviously Fred's been out, is like the smallest player on the other end has to guard Gary. Gary loves attacking those mismatches. Like it was Trey Jones against him yesterday, and Gary was just like, I'm going to shoot over you. You're 6 foot tall.
Yeah, I think.
Like he doesn't even need space to shoot. It's weird.
Yeah, that mid-range game is solid, man.
Yeah, it's like pure touch. Like it's a very feathery release. You and I would never approach that, but
yeah, no one was comparing you to Gary.
No one was.
Yeah, why did you have to bring that up?
I just threw us in there.
Oh, okay.
Again, please invite us back to the run.
I'm invited. I'm on the email list every week. I don't know about you, man.
God damn it.
I'm gonna bring Gary Trent Sr. before I bring you again.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I think. I mean, what else, man? Otto Porter.
What else?
Made his debut.
Solid.
11 minutes, 5 points, hit a 3.
I didn't think that the defensive intensity or the overall activity of the team dropped with him in.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing to me right now.
I mean, he's a vet, man. He was on a championship team last year.
Yeah, he's not just a vet, though. Like, he fits the style that the team wants to play. Like, he's not going to fly around the way that the rest of the team does.
Sure.
But he's pretty active. He's in all the right spots.
Yeah.
He's rebounding the ball, and we know he can knock down a 3. I didn't like that he turned down a 3 in the game yesterday, but who cares, honestly?
Yeah, that's being a harsh critic.
143 points, man. Who cares?
Listen, when the Raptors win by 40, no criticism.
Yeah.
Zero criticism.
Yeah.
No, I think even this week watching these two games, Atlanta and San Antonio, like I think this is what everyone was expecting maybe when we talk about like Division 6-9 and the way the roster is constructed.
Yeah, I think it's also matchup based in a I mean, partly with the Spurs, like they're not that talented of a team already, and they're also missing some of their best players. And then also with the Hawks, they just like, I don't even know what will happen with the Hawks. Like the Raptors just destroyed them. But
yeah, they were in the middle of a long road trip too. But I mean, like I think Toronto's a better team. I think they match up well.
The Raptors have scored like 282 points the last 2 games.
No, it's incredible. What do you think? Like
exhilarating.
You know, Coach Willu, over here. What do you think opposing teams are going to start doing to like stop this transition? But to stop the transition though, like what do you do?
Well, that one's a little tougher because the Raptors they're also now rebounding at a really high clip. We talked about this with Oren yesterday.
Yes, they're tops in the league in defensive rebounding, right?
Yeah, which is amazing. That was the one of their weaknesses last season.
And they're not turning the ball over.
Yeah, the Raptors don't turn the ball over generally anyway, but like they're just winning so many more possession battles. But I think specifically with the transition, how do they keep the Raptors out of transition? I don't know. I think you might see some of the bigger teams try to attack them on the offensive glass and get at them there. But, like, I don't know. The Raptors have done a pretty good job on that front. Like, you commit more people to offensive glass. It's like a gamble. You send them there, sure, but the Raptors are probably going to run, the other way on you. I think, I don't know. They're just doing really well. Like, yesterday, something very simple the Raptors did was just throw the quick hit-ahead pass. Like, so many plays, they didn't necessarily need to dribble up, right? That dead zone of when you secure either the rebound or the turnover in your own backcourt, between your backcourt and the halfway line, you want to get to the halfway line as quickly as possible. You got to dribble there, which the Raptors can do, or they can just throw the quick hit-ahead pass. And that's what they did yesterday. So many plays where they just stole the ball and just instantly chucked it down the field.
Yeah, shouts to the camera operator from the other network, man. Had to swing the camera around real quick yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's get to your These very bizarre topics at the end of the rundown here. Please go ahead. Explain both of these.
Define
Man.
bizarre. So I posted this photo yesterday of, Heidi Klum's Halloween costume. She was a worm. So she spent months, had a team behind the scenes create this worm costume.
Okay.
Where, she dressed up basically as a brain worm and like did a red carpet and everything. You called it a cursed image.
It is a cursed image.
So I just wanted to let you know that was supermodel Heidi Klum's Halloween costume.
That's
this season, and
what was the reason for that?
And I will be using that plenty of times this season.
It's
really
if you're
bad. Okay with it.
It's really nasty.
Yeah, just letting you know. Expect to see that on the TL.
You could have sent this to J Roll in the back, so she could have put it on the screen. Can I just show you this image? It's not good.
Nobody.
It's really
to
nasty.
See that, man.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, that's a zoomed in image.
No, that's not just zoomed in, man. That's what the image looks like. All right, it's a tough one.
It looks like 4 slabs of bacon. Let's get the show done so I can eat my Manchu walk.
That's what your Manchu walk looks like.
Congrats to my boy John. He's gonna be a dad.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, congratulations, John. Amazing.
Expecting a baby. Not sure if it's a boy or girl yet. I think he wants us to help him crowdsource names.
Yeah.
So his last name's Ing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, go with something different, like hoping. Betting.
Yo, betting. Yo, oh man, whoa, no, that's.
I think both have already been rejected.
Oh,
but anyways, John, you're about to be a dad, man. So please gamble responsibly.
Congratulations.
He tagged along on Bet Rivers, and I think he had some good results with me.
Yeah.
Well, somehow he's only up $2. He told me. I'm like, well,
okay,
how?
That's too much blackjack.
I've been hitting you with winning 3-game parlays.
Yeah,
every night except for when Dallas blew a 16-point lead against OKC on Saturday, and I haven't
you don't even watch
since.
Raptors basketball, but you'll watch OKC basketball, man. It's a whole new game.
It's a whole new game. But anyways, Raptors win by 43.
Yeah.
Coming up after the break, we'll be joined by Amy Audibert to ask the big question. Why'd you leave us, Amy?
Genuinely, though, why'd you leave us?
No, we miss her.
We're going to take a break. I'm your host, Willu. That's Alex Wong. You're listening to The Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Welcome back to the Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. I'm your host, Wim Liu, joined by producer and co-host Alex Wong in studio, and we are joined by Miami Heat television and radio analyst Amy Audibert, friend of the program. Amy, how are you doing? It's been too long.
Yeah, it's so weird to hear you say that. It is very nice to hear your voices too, guys. I'm doing good. How are you guys? I mean, I'm sure you're feeling good this morning because that was a special one last night.
Oh, yeah, it's been a special week. And, it's even better now that finally able to track down, the hardest guest to track down so far this season.
Stop
Amy
that.
Audibert.
Stop that.
Exclusive.
Taking weeks and months now, having to fend off other outlets. No.
No, Amy's big time now. It's different.
No, not at all. And I'm going to, right off the bat, I want to thank you guys for calling me and inviting me on. I'm so happy to talk to you guys, seriously. So thanks for having me and not completely just being like, disowning me, because I certainly don't feel that way.
Yeah, no, you're a friend of the program, and you're always welcome, to come on the show. We love chatting with you. Honestly, I miss, getting a chance to book you to come on the show, every week. Now I have to come into the studio more now, but that's okay. Amy, I think to start, just to let everyone know, I think, a lot of people have been following and know that you've, moved to a new role, with the Miami Heat. Love for you to just, tell the Raptors fans who are listening who might not have been following along, what you've been up to and what you're up to now.
Yeah. Okay. So, to be perfectly honest, this has all been so crazy because without getting into all the details, this all happened probably in the last 6-7 weeks. Like, my fingernails were purple and I was packing for Victoria at a training camp when this kind of all got done. So, yeah, I mean, and the other thing I really want to say is it's been actually a little bit hard because of how great everyone's been about it, right? Like, it's not like everyone was mad at me. Everyone's like, this is amazing. Congratulations. And I've gotten so many wonderful messages and texts and tweets and messages and DMs from the fans and everyone, like Raptors fans, and it's been so nice to hear. I've gotten a couple snakes and traders, but anyone who really understands this business just knows, for me, this my dream's always been to be a full-time NBA analyst, and I have these opportunities, they don't open all the time. I always say I believe in my work and who I am, and I'm proud of my grind. But the reality is, in our industry, these jobs just don't open up. And this is just a perfect situation for me in terms of full-time analyst games. I'm up 82 shows, and I'm coming back home I have two homes. I moved here when I was 17 to 24. I kind of learned a lot about who I was in those years. So I'm still very connected to this area too. So it was in some ways it was difficult, but in other ways, it wasn't, just because this is life. So it was just such a crazy. I mean, it's been crazy. I honestly, some days I wake up and I'm like, what happened? I'm kind of just weak. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's for us. It's obviously a big loss. I mean, we first Kyle, now Amy. There's so much of the Raptors community down there. No, but honestly, we're really happy to hear that for you. And yeah, just walk us through the new role that you're in. How has it been working with the team down there? And yeah, your experiences so far in 2 weeks in.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny. The big joke is when the Raptors were here a couple weeks ago, they actually beat me to Miami for about 12 hours. They got here about 12 hours before I did, just getting all the paperwork and everything finalized. So I actually missed the first couple of games of the season. And so with my new role, I'm calling the games on the radio as the analyst, and I'm also doing the pre-show and post-game in the studio. Home games, that's on site, and road games, I do that remotely or from Fort Lauderdale, and sometimes on the road as well. So I'm whatever they need me to do, I do. And, that's something that I just worked really hard on, as you guys know, all over the years, just being able to wear multiple hats on a show certainly doesn't hurt, and it didn't hurt me in this position either, because now I'm kind of I just felt this is my job today. Let's do it. It's been great, jumping into a season, a couple games in. I mean, I think anyone can understand it's crazy and hectic. So I'm still just connecting and meeting a lot of people for the first time. But I mean, I just so like Toronto's a wonderful organization, and Miami certainly is too. And the support around here has been absolutely incredible. So I just feel super lucky, really, at the end of the day. Again, I know I've worked really hard, but a lot of people work really hard. So it's just been a big blur. It was so funny walking in on Monday, and this was the craziest part. So my first game with the Miami Heat was against the Raptors, and it was a Sportsnet show. So if you want to just talk about the universe being giving you a little gift, I mean, that was crazy. And it was really weird walking into the gym, being back on an NBA court for the first time since last year, and seeing the Raptors warm up and being like, that's not my squad this year. So it was really weird. I mean, you know what? I did receive some really nice messages from front office and I told everyone up there, 78 times a year, I'm cheering for the Raptors, the regular season. But for sure I am. Are you kidding me? So it's been crazy.
Yeah, and it's cool to see too. Obviously, Savannah Hamilton, has taken over the role as a sideline reporter at Sportsnet, and I know the two of you have a close friendship too. In this media world, must have been cool for you to see, her take on the role. Yeah,
and that's a lot of my conversations, just with the timing being so tight, right, was so crazy. But even especially with Marty at Sportsnet, the executive producer, and he, it opens a door for somebody else. And the reality is in Canada is that there's just not a whole lot of those jobs at all. I mean, there's really not in the whole world, but there's one NBA team in Canada, right? So, super excited for her, and I'm proud of her too, because Sav's worked behind the scenes, kind of like me, for a long time. So, I'm just cheering from afar for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so we got to ask: are you still watching the Raptors? How close are you following along with the team? I know you congratulate us for the 43-point win last night. I got to say congrats to the Heat as well. I watched their game against Golden State. I felt like both teams really needed that win, and it was a real impressive victory there, because I thought, I mean, this is a champions. Enough said. You beat them. It's a pretty good win. So, yeah, are you still tracking with the Raptors, and what are your thoughts on how the team has progressed this year?
Yeah, I mean, of course I am. I didn't get to watch the game last night because we had a road down here, but it's just, for me, and because it was that first game for me, I was able to dive into them a little bit. Obviously, they're just building off of last year. Really, they haven't slowed down. They've gotten faster, right? So it's just typical, and it's kind of funny because it's the same thing down here where, like, no one's really, when you look at the East, everyone's obviously talking about, well, especially after, was it last night, Boston, Cleveland, Brooklyn for the wrong reasons. But, same thing. It's, again, you want to be in the conversation, but at the same time, you control the controllables, and I know that Nick, and I know that organization is very much, just put your head down and go to work, and we'll do our talking in April, May. So, I mean, they've gotten off to a great start, and I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. No, not surprised either. Alex?
Yeah, I'm just checking the weather in Miami right now.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
28 Celsius today, low of 22.
Yeah.
28 again tomorrow.
Man.
But it's gonna be raining 5 days straight after that. So
wow. Okay.
That should humble them a little bit.
I don't know, man. Oh,
are you gonna bring me back on in January so we can talk about it? I'm just kidding. You know what? I'm just kidding because it's so funny, because I will say this, like, in the last month, well, really, I guess 3 weeks since this all kind of happened, how many weather comments have been throwing my way? And I'm like, man, the gym's the same temperature. Like, I live in gyms. Don't get me wrong. The palm trees are nice. I love palm trees. So that's one thing I'm not going to lie. I'm really happy to see again. But, I live in basketball gyms. The winter did not affect me last year when I was in Toronto. So you can keep doing that if that makes you feel better, but it doesn't make me feel any guiltier because I'm in the same place you guys are all the time.
That's a bar.
That's true. That's a true Hooper statement from me.
That's a bar. Damn. That's probably what my side tells all the free agents. They're always like,
there's like room temperature. There's like gym temperature.
Do you think he told that to Kawhi? Kawhi's like, I can go to, Los Angeles. Yeah. Masai's like, whoa, hold on. The gym's the same temperature.
Kawhi's like, who are you again?
Wow. Yeah. But it is beautiful. I want to make that point. I mean, right now I'm looking at the ocean and the causeway and palm trees and the sun, and I literally looking at it right now. So I'm not saying it's not wonderful.
Oh man. Well, good luck to you, Will, as you scooter home in the fog today on this rainy, somber day.
Absolutely zero visibility.
Amy, before we let you go, wanted to, you had so many wonderful moments here, like you mentioned, with such wonderful people covering the Raptors, especially for Sportsnet last season. I wanted to get your top 3 favorite moments from last season in your role as Raptors sideline reporter.
Okay, well, and I will say this, and I know this is totally uncontrollable, but I was so lucky last year in that Sportsnet had all like the awesome moments. Like you don't plan that when they pick the games between the other side, right? They just draft the games, but we had the best moments. I also felt I was so lucky that in my 1 year there, so my favorite moments, well, by far one of my favorite moments in my career to date has just been the game when Fred got named the All-Star. Undrafted to All-Star. So I got that, I was on the court. I got to interview him right after, that was something that'll stay with me forever. It's not why we do the job, but it's certainly a perk to have that moment, right? Scotty's getting the Rookie of the Year. That was another Sportsnet game. That was I got to do the walk-off with Scotty, and I got to, have the first conversation with Scotty on camera about being the Rookie of the Year. And this year, by the way, I'm covering Udonis Haslem in year 20. So how crazy is that, right? Like a Rookie of the Year to one of the, with Dirk and Kobe and Udonis are the only 3 players who have ever played for the same organization for 20 seasons. So getting to see that side. And then, I know you guys want me to say OG because I saw that
they were just in Texas. They're in Texas right now.
Well, it's funny. So last night after the show, my phone was blowing up, and I thought I said something on my show, right? And I'm like, oh God, what did I say? What did I do? Don't think I said anything, And I realized that it's because the Raptors admin on their Twitter went back to the what do you like about Texas? Nice. So I definitely got nice messages, and I said, I guess it's the gift that keeps on giving. But I'm going to have to sidestep that one, and I'm going to have to say it was probably just the playoffs. Like, again, we got those 2 playoff wins. Those were Sportsnet games. That was just really cool getting to do that with Philly, and kind of it was like a foundational piece. I kind of went into this year like, Philly's the rivalry, right? At the beginning of the season before, obviously, I made the move. But yeah, I'd say there's so many. It was just such an amazing experience. So many awesome people, and I don't know, working with Matt, calling games with Matt Devlin, like, come on, that was such an important thing for me personally, because you want to do the job, but then when you actually do it and you're like, you know what, I can be here and I can do this. And he's been one of the most incredible people to work with for me. So, I know I kind of went on long there, but there's just so many. So it was such an incredible experience.
No, it's so clear that, there was just so many great memories here. And shout out to Matt, too. We had the great pleasure of going to the arena like 3 hours early the last game I went to. I think it was against Philly. And just sitting in that media room, and Devlin calls me over, and he's like, hey, come, just youngin, come sit beside me, and let me show you how this is done. And he has this notebook out. You've seen this notebook. It's handwritten notes, and he's got all sorts of scribbles on there, all sorts of little details about the records of each team against each team, the recent scores. He's got this whole thing about droughts in each game, like what time the Raptors had these droughts, and the amount of preparation that went into the game is genuinely like, wow, okay, it's like I get it. Like I totally understand what it takes to be great in this business. Like when you see the level of work that a guy like Matt Devlin, who's absolutely a made man in this business, he could do this, with his eyes closed probably, and he's still putting in that much work 3 hours before the game. Like it's it's great. And I will say, even for myself, just sitting in an analyst chair, and I'm a week in or 2 weeks in, and it's the prep is so different, and also doing it 82 times. I had 41 games this last season, and so it's just our guys, Eric Reed and Jason Jackson down here, are our play-by-play voices. And it's just, and it's funny. Jason's definitely more. He's got everything digitally, and Eric Reed's more like myself, where he comes in with the handwritten stuff. But and then John Crotty's the television analyst. 82 times. It's so much. It's awesome. It's a great lifestyle, but
especially when guys get cut up online or in conversations, I'm always like, you know what, like there's so much work that goes into this that people don't realize. So I've been super fortunate to just, again, be surrounded by amazing, amazing people that do the work and do it right.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, listen, Amy, appreciate you making the time. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but whenever the Raptors play the Heat here, you know, if you're coming to Toronto, you know, just open invite if you're free to come join us in studio.
Thanks. Absolutely. And listen, if for whatever reason, I know this is a real hot take, but if by some reason we would see each other in the playoffs, like we're going shopping, I haven't forgotten. I want the vape store. I want the Gucci. I want the Will and Alex experience.
It'll be an Alex experience. I think Will's gonna be sitting this one out.
I might be wearing a $20 H&M sweater right now.
Yeah, I don't think so. Will, you guys are big time. Like, stop it, okay? Yeah. So start saving now. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna film it.
Generational wealth, baby. No, definitely, Amy. We look forward to catching up, and obviously, best of luck with everything, and can't wait to talk to you soon.
Yeah. You guys too. You know, I'll be listening. So have a good day. I'll hear from you soon.
All right. Amy Audibert, traitor. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, come on, man.
No, we miss Amy, man. We really miss Amy. No, I'm kidding. Who is in Amy's DM sending snake emojis?
This is like George Karl versus DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, no, come on, man. When the grass is cut. No, man, honestly. No, shout out to Amy. You could tell that she has been, you know, in Miami for 2 weeks now because she already brought up Udonis Haslem with no prior prompt.
No, we got to put heat culture specialist.
Shout out to Udonis Haslem, man. He's getting into games like in the middle of games, like not even end of the games anymore.
Oh, he playing.
Bro, he played the first quarter against Sacramento in a game that they lost. First quarter.
No, I like that Matt Devlin's like a father figure to you in this media game. You know, I think, shouts to Ronald, shouts to your actual dad, Ronald.
Yeah, shouts to my
all his
dad,
friends
Ronald.
that are listening.
I bought you a SVP Leaf zip-up hoodie.
Yeah, why did you throw his Game Boy out the window, man? Like, it just, it seems kind of, it has stuck with him all these years later.
Yeah, well,
He's mentioned it 3 times on the show.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got to sort through that. Yeah. But yeah, Matt, after Friday's game, last Friday, when Tyrese Maxey scored 81 points against the Raptors.
Enough, man.
I said enough.
No, I think Tyrese heard
Jordan Poole Draymond incident coming soon in studio. He texted me the next day, and he was just like, "Is Will okay?"
Yeah. Well, that's nice. My dad didn't text me. He asked me if I was okay. My dad's just asked me like, "Hey, do you want anything from Foodie Mart this week?"
Well, I don't think
Asian dad.
I don't think an actual Asian dad. I don't think no father wants to know that his son's moods are completely associated with a professional basketball team's results. It just shouldn't work that way.
My dad's like, "You turning 30 in December, man. Like, can you grow up a little?"
He's telling you 30, like you telling me I'm 40, man. 30's the new 40, man. GOAT used to say that. The GOAT Jay-Z, by the way, just to clarify.
Okay. I don't know. There's a lot of goats, man.
Yeah, I don't know about your goats.
Yeah.
It's funny. Amy talked about too, Sportsnet lucking in to, I guess, Sportsnet and the other network. They draft the games, right?
Yeah,
the TV broadcast. Yo, they gotta send us as representatives.
Ooh,
we should draft.
I was gonna say, is there a lottery?
It's like, first pick, OKC. They're like, but Kawhi's coming back, and there's a Kyle game. Like, nah, man. I want to see Shea. Yeah, we'll take the OKC game.
I thought you were gonna take whichever team Matt Thomas is on. What team is he on now? Chicago still? Or is
he's not. He's not in the league right now.
Yeah, that's tough. Man.
I did go to his Wikipedia page the other day.
You were just like, I
wonder. Check. Yeah, I was like that Wolverine meme.
Hey, by the way, on Basketball Reference, if you look up Matt Thomas's page, which I'm sure you have, his under nicknames, he does have Mr. 99%.
Oh, that's nice.
So your influence is in his Basketball Reference page forever now.
Yeah. Once again, I just say stuff, and things happen.
Yeah.
There's no influence.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to give you some credit, but
Raps are going to beat the Mavs tomorrow, 140-83.
Oh, okay. That's wow. Did Luka get lost on the way to the game? What happened?
Luka becomes assistant coach.
Luka and Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't know.
Breaking news.
Like the bus.
Per Woj, James Harden suffered a right foot tendon strain and is expected to miss a month.
That's too bad.
Man, that's a big deal for the Sixers.
That's a big deal for the Sixers.
More Tyrese Maxey.
I think they're still under 500.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think if there's a team that I root against, it's lots of them. There's Clippers, the Celtics,
Okay.
Sixers are up there, though. Sixers are up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want him to have an injury. Absolutely not. But it's just like it's especially when you're looking at climbing up in the standings. Like all these games count. Like the Sixers being 4-5 right now. Like it's kind of where I want them to stay.
Yeah, especially for someone who might have some money on the Raptors winning the Atlantic Division.
Right. Well, yeah, you're
that's
looking good right now.
That's someone being Johning. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No. This is.
You gotta make the money for betting.
No, James Harden's had a good start to the season, even though the Sixers have not.
He's probably been the best part of their season so far.
This is unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely.
For the Sixers.
Yeah. Before we go, you wanted to mention that the Banter Pod is coming back?
Yeah, we're gonna record a Banter Pod tomorrow.
Why do you sound so unexcited, man? I know that's your favorite one.
No, I'm excited.
For people who didn't listen, during the offseason when we had to fill a lot of time, we would do these marathon episodes.
Yes.
And we would call them banter because they were like literally 90% banter.
We talk some basketball, but we engage with the fans, engage with the listeners. We welcome listener emails. As always, already received a lot of emails today. Put out the call on Instagram. So info@stephenlebron.com if you have a question. Just want to write us, let us know where you're listening from or just anything. We're happy to get to all of them.
Say hello and welcome in a non-English language.
Yeah. And for people that listen, watch our show from 2 to 3 p.m., on YouTube, radio, Sportsnet 360. The Banter Pod is a podcast only, podcast exclusive on the feed.
Yes.
So subscribe to the Raptor Show.
I don't know what you're doing if you haven't subscribed to the Raptor Show.
Yeah, and follow the Raptor Show on Twitter.
Yeah. Follow the Raptor Show on Twitter, even though Alex posting less memes on there these days. What's going on, man? I'm calling you out on air.
This was supposed to be a feed to, post show clips and things.
So no more memes. Okay, I got you.
No, memes are coming, but, I'll save some for my personal, too. All three
You're running out of memes now? What about this Heidi Klum sashimi?
I used it 3 times last night, man.
It's awful.
Shouts to Chris Tarosa, by the way, behind the scenes. I know we're going to do our Friday shout-outs tomorrow, but Chris Tarosa has been helping us out with a lot of video content as well.
I saw that.
So appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we have successfully reached the end of the show. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I will now walk to my desk and eat Manchu Wok.
All right, that does it for us today. I'm your host, Wolu, and you've been listening to The Raptors Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Make sure you find The Raptors Show wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, and please rate and review our show. Reminder, we're streaming live on Sportsnet's YouTube channel and airing live on Sportsnet 360 Monday to Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. Thanks again to my producer and co-host, Alex Wong. Thanks to Amy Audibert, our board producer, Derek Brandejo, and Jennifer Ronick for helping us with the YouTube stream. Talk to you soon.